Well, thank you for coming on my show, Ashley.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, you're very welcome. What can you tell a brief detail a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so my name is Ashlee Lawhorn. I am an award-nominated actress, drummer, and boxer. I started acting around 3 or so years ago. And whenever I started acting, it was right after the pandemic. So it was kind of like just hit the ground hard with taking acting classes and really trying to learn as much about the industry as I could from the resources I had at the time. And yeah, that's a little bit about me.
And you've been boxing for a while, is that correct?
Yeah, so I actually started boxing right out of high school. I went to a church that was connected to a rehab at the time, and one of the guys in there, he used to coach boxing, and he was like, "You know what? Why don't you try it? It would be fun." And I was like, "Okay, I guess I'll do it." I've always kind of wanted to. I've always loved being physical. I watched boxing growing up and UFC, so I was like, "All right, I'll do it." And, yeah, once I started with him, it just ignited something in me, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is so much fun." So from there, I worked with him for a few years and then moved on to a gym up in Chillicothe, Ohio with, Toki Hill. He's a karate world champion. He also, had some background in boxing and things like that. So I worked with him a little bit, and yeah, it's been amazing. It's a great outlet, that's for sure.
And you started acting when you've been acting since 14 years.
I've been acting on a roll since 2020, but I did start back in ninth grade. I took my first acting class. And whenever I started, so I live in I grew up in a rural community in Ohio. Not much around us. The nearest city was like 20 miles away, or not 20, 22 hours away. It was about 2 hours away. And so my mom thankfully had signed me up and she was like, "You know what? You've wanted to do it. I'm going to take you." So started my acting journey there in ninth grade.
Mhm.
I don't think that I was actually ready yet for acting or anything. I was a bit shy, and the teacher I had at the time was a bit rough around the edges, and so he wasn't someone that if you're newer to the acting world that you would want to go to, I would say. It kind of scared me off. I was a little intimidated, so I was like, you know what? I played basketball all the time. I was like, I'm just gonna play basketball, focus on that, and drumming and that good stuff, and go about my day. So took a break from acting after that, and yeah, kind of went on my way with graduating high school. I from then went to Shawnee State University and got my degree in psychology. I had initially wanted to, though, go to acting school. It was one of those things like when you think becoming an actor, you're like, "Oh, do I go to school for that?" That kind of
Mhm.
stuff. So I was like, "Man, I really want to do it." But then I had all this pressure from society saying, "No, you need to go to school, go to college and get an office job, get something that's secure and safe and all that stuff." And I kind of let that seep in a little bit, but I don't regret it because Shawnee was an amazing experience. So once I graduated from Shawnee, I got my first job in counseling, and it was actually with a counseling center. And one day it just kind of clicked. It was like, I'd wanted to be an actor for so long that I was like, Ashley, you're an adult now. You're working, you're on your own. What is stopping you from going and taking an acting class or, stepping out and just doing it, just starting? So, yeah.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Now you did a lot of bunch of roles. And so what was the most recent role you played?
The most recent role is actually one that I'm still filming. So it is a rom-com called Accepting Loneliness, and it's a feature film, indie film, and the guys we're working with, they're so great. The story is super compelling and sweet, and it's got so much humor in it. And my character, Michelle, is a chef who has this terrible boyfriend. And you kind of see her story mixed in with another main character named Jim. he is also trying to navigate the dating world, and you kind of get to see his experiences
Hmm.
paralleled and mirrored with Michelle's. And so with that, it's just this funny thing where you see two people that are totally meant to be with each other,
Right.
and the whole film they just aren't never meet up until I can't spoil it, but
Right, because I totally
yeah,
understand
I
you know,
almost I almost did, but I'm not gonna.
yeah, I understand you
And
signed the
so
contract, you can't say much about it. I totally
yeah,
understand. I got you.
but but
Now you were in a film in 2022,
Mhm.
if I'm correct. You played Max in this
Yeah,
film in this show. And what is if I'm saying our air, if I'm saying it right, what is
yeah.
that about? And can you go in little details?
Yeah, definitely. So Air was a film I did kind of early on in my career. It was, I originally got cast for Jane, the other character in the short film. And something, I'm trying to think, something happened to where they were like, we would like you to play Max now. And Max is a character that is very spunky, energetic, just full of life kind of person and wants to help people. And so I was like, honestly, I love Max. I was like, I will be Max for you. And so the whole story is pretty much about this. I would say post-apocalyptic society. The government's kind of running this society, and a lot of people are in a trance. And Max and a group of renegade people have broken out of this trance, and we're able to see the world for how it actually is. We aren't under any type of control. Well, Jane, this other character, is still under that control. And one day she wakes up and is free from it. And so she's kind of confused. She doesn't know what's going on. And she ends up running into my character, Max. And I'm kind of like gun ho. I'm ready to take her with me and take her back to our little hideout of people that we've got. And so it's a really, really good story, and at the end of that, you can just see this eye-opening experience that Max has for helping somebody who, she had no idea if this person was good, bad, but she helped them.
Hmm.
And you get to see Jane discover, "Oh my god, there's this whole new world that I had no idea about because this had happened to me." So it's
Right.
pretty cool.
That's awesome. Now, where can people watch it, by the way?
So that one is not out yet. They're still
Okay.
working on it, and, it's actually been, man, maybe 2 years since I did that. It's been a while, but, I actually just recently talked to one of the DPs, and she's kind of working on editing it and things like that, so hopefully it'll be out in the near future. My fingers are crossed because I would love for people to see this story.
Yes, we want to see. And then also you played in the As I Believe the World to Be,
Yes.
and you were in that, you played as Whitney, is that correct?
Mhm.
And
Yep.
what where can people watch that? If you mind me asking if it's out or when it's going to be out, and what can you tell everybody about the details a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, so that one also is not out yet. I didn't have that big of a role in this film. It's pretty much about a girl writing a story about a henchman who fails an assignment and ends up taking a risk on love. And in that film, I was a bar back, which I have never been a bartender. I think it sounds super fun. I've never been a bar back, but that's the thing I love about acting is all the time you're getting these new experiences where you're able to learn new skills and you're able to experience new things. And so that was one of those times where even though I didn't have a big role in the film and really I didn't push the film along, I don't feel I still got that experience of, hey, I got to be a bar back for a day. I got to meet this amazing group of people, make new connections and friends, and build current connections. So it was a really, really special film to be a part of.
Awesome. And then of course, you were in a film called The Summer of Sorrow,
Yes. Yep.
and you played Sarah.
Hmm.
And um I'm gonna ask anyways if it's is it out or not, but
Yes.
what where can people watch it if it's out? And then what's the small details of the story about that one?
Yeah, so Summer of Sorrow is out. It is one that has been released. It is on YouTube. Go check it out. It is a really compelling and beautiful story and tragic at the same time. So It's actually a true story, that happened in the 1940s. And the character I played, Sarah, is actually the mom of this family that's still around. The granddaughter of my character wrote the story, and kind of got the rights from her mom to write it. So what it's about is back in 1949, this family from Kentucky moves to Mansfield, Ohio. They call it Little Kentucky. And so when they do that, she has about 5 kids. She's got 5 kids and a baby with her.
Hmm.
Well, they hadn't been there very long, and her baby ends up catching an illness and passing away. And when this happened, everybody kind of looked at the family as it was the mom's fault. They
Hmm.
kind of were like, it's your fault. You traveled from Kentucky to Ohio with a baby, like, and ostracized her a bit for that. Well, during that same summer, 9 other babies died. And so the tragedy just hit the community, and of course they blamed the woman who had the first baby that passed. So the story kind of shows that tragedy, that struggle that this woman had went through. And when they had no money, they were very, very poor, lived in a 1 bedroom house, and really the whole room was the kitchen, living room, everything. And so you kind of just get to see Sarah navigate that, their family navigate it. And at the root cause of the issue was actually the water was contaminated. So she had given her baby contaminated water and didn't know, and the rest of the community did as well. So then it turns into this story of trying to get the local government to do something about this. We need these families to be safe. We need them to have this, pure water. They need to have basic human rights, help them out. So you kind of just see that fight
Hmm.
throughout the film too, and it's such a beautiful, beautiful film, honestly.
Wow. And you said people can watch it on YouTube.
Yes, yep.
All right. And then when was that film made?
So that was made last year,
Okay.
well, I guess 2 years ago now. It's 2024, so it was made in
Yeah.
2022, yeah.
Okay. And then my other question is that you played in a film in the role that Friends Forever. You were
Yes.
in that one forever, and what was that about?
Okay, Friends Forever. So, this is a little bit different than a lot of the other films I've been in. It is essentially a an 80s slasher-esque type film. It was so much fun to play. It's about this group of friends that goes to this house together, and they want to throw a party. Well, my character is that typical character in a movie, horror movie specifically, that's like, guys, this is not a good idea. We don't need to be here. We shouldn't party here. Like, let's go. It's creepy. And of course, nobody listens to the one that's got the good info. So we end up staying, have the party, and that's when things kind of go sideways. It kind of follows that premise of a typical 80s slasher film, but it does have some twists in it. And yeah, it's just really exciting to be a part of. We also, what was really cool about that film is Tom Angeletti, the guy who wrote and directed it, he was able to get like 20 plus extras for this short film. And that's like unheard of most of the time with, short films. It's hard to get extras in anyways, but to get that many for a party scene, we were all just feeling the energy amped up, and it was just such a fun time.
That's awesome. And then where can people watch that as well?
So that will actually be released on streaming platforms this month. I can't release what streaming platform yet, but it'll be coming out, and they're actually having a kind of an early preview of it next Friday and Saturday for people to come watch. So it's going to be really exciting.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Now, what have you noticed the most challenging aspect being in this industry so far?
Whew, that is a loaded question. There are so many challenges. There are so many, but there are also so many good positive things as well. I'd say one of the biggest challenges with being in this industry is the unknown. It's like a roller coaster of ups and downs. Nothing is guaranteed. You could work your butt off for years and still not get something, or something could come tomorrow. it's really such an unpredictable industry to be a part of. But
Mhm.
something I've kind of gained, in my experience is just to there are things you can control, and that's yourself. You can control how much you study, you can control how many classes you take, are you learning, the networking that you do, how you react to things, and the prep work that you put in for auditions and things like that. So I think that's a big challenge with the industry. And I also kind of think too, a lot of actors, we struggle with the business side of things.
Mhm.
So all the time, we're working on our craft. We know how to do that. We're all creatives. Like we love going out and making art. And so I think, we kind of forget how to market ourselves sometimes, or we get off track, or we don't really know how to put goals together that are obtainable for us. And so one thing I started last year was I got myself a business coach, and her name is Anastasia Edwards. She is absolutely phenomenal and helped me really put my career on track with where I want to go, some of the things I want to accomplish, and kind of help me wrap my head around the industry a little bit more. I mean, even with her help, this past year alone, I had gotten new headshots, created a website, got booked on numerous feature films, short films, and commercials, and landed an agent in Chicago who is amazing and aligns with me so much. And it's like these doors just keep opening up. And I feel like, I'm one thing that she says that has really hit home with me is I'm owning my business. I'm owning it, and I know my worth. And so it's kind of like you have to believe in yourself in order to make it and to continue to push through in this business.
Mhm.
Because if you don't believe in yourself, who's going to? Like selling a product. If you don't believe in the product you're selling, nobody else is really going to believe it. Why
Right.
should they? Right? So
100%.
yeah, so it's been a struggle at times, but to be honest, it's the most fun struggle I've ever been a part of. So
Right.
I love it.
That's awesome. Now you what's the one thing do you believe that being an actor that you have to go to college, or do you think that's not really required?
No, absolutely not. If I could go back and tell that girl that graduated high school that was like, man, that was going through the shift of should I go to acting school? Should I go to college? What do I do? Can I just take acting classes? Be like, girlfriend, calm down. You can totally make it. Take some acting classes, start networking, start building your network of people that you trust that can help you learn and grow.
Mhm.
And you can totally do anything you want. You don't have to go to college to be an actor. You can
Right.
start watching YouTube videos and reading books and all that good stuff. So, yeah, I just start is my main thing. Just start somewhere.
Right. And then that's 100% true. College is not what it used to be, in my opinion.
Oh, no. Nope, I totally agree. Yeah.
Now, what is your short-term goal and your long-term goal?
So, my short-term goal is to actually expand markets. I started off in the Ohio market and I love it here. It's one of those markets that is so rich in indie filmmaking, and we get a lot of commercials that come through, and sometimes like bigger budget movies that'll come through, blockbusters. But as I told you, I expanded to Chicago, so I'm excited to kind of get more grounded in Chicago and book some more roles there. My next market is going to be Atlanta. That's where I would like to kind of shoot myself down there and just start networking, start taking classes, learning, and really getting a feel for that market. I've got friends down there. They've, told me things and have been able to educate me on how it is. So I'd say that's one of my short-term goals. Another one would be to get more footage on my boxing and my drumming. I would love to get more footage to showcase those skills. And thankfully, last year, I actually booked an amazing opportunity for myself to be able to showcase drumming with a feature film I booked called Speakeasy. So that will be in production this year. But it's a film about how alcohol kind of with speakeasies and things like that, it was illegal. Well, in this society, music is illegal. And so you've got all these bands playing in underground places and just trying to make
Hmm.
it. And my band takes in this straggler, and then the adventure starts. And you kind of don't know where the film's going to go, but you know that these people love music. You know that they are passionate and they have love for each other. And so I'm really excited about that one. Just to be able to even drum in something is amazing.
And when is that going to be worked on? Is it coming out soon, or is that
So we're going to be in production for it this year, and then hopefully 2025 or 2026 that'll be out.
okay? That's amazing. And
Thank
so,
you.
where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oof, in 5 years, I would say I see myself still acting, still learning, still growing, connecting with people. At that point, I would like to be in Atlanta full time. I'd like to be living down in Atlanta. I would also like to see myself further in my career. At that point, I would like to have seen that I've gained TV credits, that I have a little bit bigger credits to add to my
Hmm.
resume, and also just that maybe I'm relying on acting full time and not as working part time to support my acting.
Right.
Yeah, like hopefully that's where I can go with it.
Okay, that's cool. I totally agree like that. What do you say is your greatest accomplishment as being an actress so far?
My greatest accomplishment, hands down, would be stepping out of my comfort zone, would be going for it. Even pursuing this career is my biggest accomplishment. Um, I continuously see myself growing as a person and just really figuring out where I want my life to go. And I have acting to thank for so many things with bringing me new people into my life, allowing me an experience to step into other people's shoes and to learn these new creative hobbies and skills. And it's just one of those it's one of those jobs where you get to learn constantly, you get to grow constantly and figure out new things, go new places, meet new people. And yeah, I'm just proud of myself that I've even started it and that I continue to start it, and I don't see myself stopping anytime soon.
That's amazing. And how does your family handle the situation that you're in, being an actress?
Oh, they love it. They love it. So, ever since I was little, I would always entertain my family. Somehow, I would either get guitars out and act like I was a rock star, or I would put on plays, or just anything creative I would do. And my mom and dad are the best. They have supported me so much. And like I said early on, my mom was the one that I told her I wanted to start acting. She loved the idea. She got me in classes in Columbus, Ohio, and so ready to help me. And I think what hindered us again was being just in a rural community. And she had a full time job trying to take her kid up to acting classes and stuff. And I really appreciate, though, how much they have my back. And they're so honest. My mom, I'll send her self tapes sometimes, and I'll be like, "What do you think? Does this feel like good to you? Like when you watch it, do you actually connect with the character, or am I getting to you?" And she'll tell me, straight up. She'll be like, No, no, that doesn't look good," or she'll be like, "Yeah, actually, that was really compelling, Ash. That was good. I like it." And it kind of helps me get gauge, around my self tapes sometimes, and
Right.
they're just so awesome. I'm really blessed.
So have you ever done acting on theater?
I haven't actually. That is one thing that maybe one day I will, delve into. I might try my hand at it. The biggest obstacle I've seen so far with me not doing it is just time. I haven't really had the time to do it, but I think it's one of those things like anything else, you have to make time in
Right.
order
And
to.
also pardon me, also you're performing in
Yeah,
front of a live audience.
exactly. So there are so many factors at play there that Yeah, it would be a new venture for me for sure. But I definitely know that like certain markets really, really respect theater. Like
Hmm.
Chicago is one of those markets that if you have theater on your resume, will help you so much. And I don't, so it's one of those things where I'm like, listen, I'm good, I swear. I just haven't done theater, but I can do it. So it's yeah, I would love to try my hand at it. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Wow. What's your favorite memory so far on set?
Ooh, I like this question. My favorite memory. Let me think here. Man, that's a curveball. Okay. I'm so indecisive. I probably have a lot of favorite memories. um, I would say that my favorite memory would be whenever I worked on Summer of Sorrow.
Hmm.
Uh, I have so many favorite memories. This is just one of the top memories. Getting to meet the actual daughter of the character that I played and having her hug me and tell me that she was so thankful that they chose me to play her mom and that she just told me I did such a good job and just really really filled me up with love for portraying this important person in her life and that was one of my favorite memories,
Do
for
you
sure.
do you say that's your most emotional moment?
It's up there for sure, yeah, it was a lot. I mean, I just she embraced me, and it wasn't one of those, like, side hugs, "You're doing great." It was like a bear hug. I felt so safe and secure, and it was just so nice to feel
Hmm.
validated because it's not very often that you get to feel validated in this
Right.
industry, and to play someone that vital to her life and actually do a good job at it in her perspective was amazing. It felt like a big relief for me to be able
Hmm.
to have that moment.
Amazing. What should people know about you? Any hidden talents or you know?
Ooh, well, I always love talking about my dogs. I don't really have any hidden talents. I kinda anything that I do that has any talent to it, I kind of do in front of people already or, like, already put it out there.
But I
But
noticed that you like to go hiking
yes, yes, I love hiking. So
and
I
your
guess
dogs.
yep,
Your
I love
dogs.
hiking, I love my pups, I love hiking with my pups. It's getting a lot harder now though. My big boy Reese, he is a mixed breed. He's such a good boy. He's 6 years old, and then Bandit, my Dalmatian pup, is about a year now, and he's also getting to be Reese's size. So taking those 2 on hikes is getting to be a little hard because it feels like they're pulling me up these mountains or, like, down these hills, more so than even hiking. So the whole time, I'm getting a full body workout with, like, pulling on these reins and trying to walk up and down hills. So it's an adventure, but it's always so much fun, and I love spending time with my boys.
And that's where people find you if you're not acting.
Yeah, yep, you can find me hiking, you can find me I love going to, uh, any type of music shop too. I love hitting those up and just seeing if they have any interesting new things that I could add to my drum set or, any records in there that I can throw on, that kinda stuff too.
That's awesome. And what is the most funny moment behind the scenes?
The most fun moment?
The funny moments behind the
Funny.
scenes.
Funny moment, okay. Oh my gosh, there's always so many funny moments. I enjoy being on set so much, because I'm one of those people anyways. No matter where I'm at, I'm gonna have a good time. I'm gonna make sure everyone else is having a good time and gonna try to liven things up. I'd say I haven't had any stick out, that I could pinpoint and say, "Oh, that was it. That was the funniest thing ever." But I've definitely had my fair share of funny moments on each set.
And can you tell us any funny moment?
Um, yeah, yeah, I guess, let me think here. Man. Oh, okay, I've got one. So, it was funny, but it was also, I felt bad after doing this. Um, So in Accepting Loneliness, there is a part in the film where I smack somebody. Well, I told these guys normally, if you're in a film, you're not really smacking someone, you're
Hmm.
faking it, and they're just shooting it in a different angle. Well, whenever we were filming it, they said, "No, really hit him." And my partner, my scene partner was like, "Yeah, really hit me." And I was like, "I don't think these guys really understand. Like I'm pretty strong. Like I might." I was like, "I don't know if I really want to hit you." And he's like, "Hit me." So I'm supposed to hit him, and then I'm supposed to give dialogue after that. Well, I this was the one take. I really just smacked him as hard as I could, and they got like you could even hear the smack through like the mics and stuff. It was brutal. He had a big red mark. As soon as I did it, I broke. I couldn't go on with the dialogue, and his face just dropped. Everything was like, "Are you freaking kidding me? Like you quit? You stopped? Why didn't you keep going?" And I kept apologizing. Everybody just started busting out laughing because they were like, "Oh my god, she really just blasted him and broke the scene, and now we're gonna have to redo it." And so I felt bad, but it was pretty funny that that even happened. um, so yeah, I guess that would be one of the more funny
How
moments.
long did the red mark stay?
It was there for a good portion of the night. Thankfully, that was the last thing we filmed, so he didn't have to be on camera anymore after that. So yeah, it stayed there for like an hour or so, I'd say after.
That's
Yeah.
pretty funny.
Mm.
Now, what's your advice for someone who wants to get in acting?
Honestly, just start. It doesn't matter where you start, but just start and don't don't put any pressure on yourself. I mean, truly, I feel like as actors, we put a lot on ourselves to be somewhere at a certain point, and put ourselves on a timeline. Don't do that. Just start, take that class that you've always wanted to take, or read that book, or watch that movie or show, or anything like that. Talk to people in the industry and just take your first step. If you do that, the rest will fall into place, and don't put any pressure on yourself.
Hmm.
Life will happen when it's supposed to happen. And, just kind of ride the roller coaster, enjoy it, make friends,
100%.
yeah, have new experiences. That's what it's all about. Just live life.
And also, what have you learned, and what's your advice for anyone who's having a hard time going through auditions, being turned down because their looks or their hair is not perfect, or am I not wearing enough makeup, guy or girl, anyways, but you know
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. So, my advice for that would be learn to let it go. Learn that it's out of your control. All that you can control is, how you prep for that role. Did you give 100% in that audition? Do you feel confident in what you did? And if you do, let it go. A lot, like you were saying, I mean, a lot of it depends on height, hair color, ethnicity, weight. There's so many things that play into this. I mean, that's the thing. You could give an award-winning audition performance, but the director might have a sister, and that sister might want that role that you just auditioned for, and they're probably going to get it. It's that stuff too. So you really just have to believe in yourself, keep going, and target auditions and roles that are fit for you. It helps if you have a direction to go in.
Hmm.
Submitting for things willy-nilly can kind of hinder you in a lot of ways because, for one, if you get rejected for things you weren't really right for, you're going to start feeling down anyways.
Right.
But if you're consistently going after things that align with your brand, your type, who you are as a person, you're more likely going to see some success in those areas and in those auditions. So I just say, keep going. Don't let it get you down. I get down a lot. I've been down a lot because of auditions, and I'm getting better at being quick about letting
Hmm.
it go. It's kind of like exercising a muscle for me. Being able to let things go. It's like the more I do it, the easier it is for me to let it go in a quicker amount of time. So, yeah, that'd be my advice. Just keep going.
That's amazing. That's awesome. And Do you have any siblings?
I do. I've got 5 siblings. I've
And they
got
also are you the youngest or the oldest? And also, are they also into acting?
I am actually the baby of the family, so that's probably why my I entertained my parents so much and why they support me going on my adventures and acting and things. My brothers and sisters actually are not in the entertainment industry. They don't do anything like this. I think the closest thing that my one of my brothers was a drummer in high school, and that's kind of what got me into drumming in the first place was watching him.
Hmm.
So, I think that's probably the closest they've came, maybe a couple plays. But what's funny is, 2 of my brothers, like, one is a doctor, one is a nurse practitioner, very, like, logical, very, hands-on things that they are doing. And then I'm out here trying to make it in acting and trying to go on this adventure, and they love it, though. They love hearing about my experience and things like that, and they're everyone's so supportive. I'm truly blessed.
That's amazing. So you're the youngest out of 5 siblings.
Yep, I also catch a lot of crap because I am the youngest out of my 5 siblings all the time. So,
What do you mean? Provide some
like
examples.
teasing, if if I do something wrong, they're the first ones to say, she did it." Like, "Mom, Dad, she did it." Like, "That's her fault." Calling me out or, if my head gets too big sometimes, they will pop that bubble for me so fast. So just to keep me in check, just enough. But at the end of the day, they're the first ones to congratulate me, to give me that love and support, and it's like any siblings, you kind of
Right.
bicker back and forth, have different ideas, but at the end of the day, you love each other and you're there for
Right, right, 100%. So during the pandemic, a lot of acting wasn't going on, and everything they didn't know they didn't know what was going to happen, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now for you as actually an actress, what was going through your mind? Because there was, everything was shut down. Like, did you think that you were going to be able to continue acting? What was going on?
Well, actually, that's about the time when I first started wanting to be an actor. So that's when I kind of the pandemic hit. It was like acting studios kind of didn't know how to navigate that like everyone else. And so there wasn't a whole lot for me to get into. And I didn't really look into online classes yet because I was like, I really want to start in person. So for the whole year of 2020, I had no idea what to do. I was kind of going into it blind. So what I did do was watch a ton of YouTube videos on the industry, on the craft of acting. I read books. And watched movies and films, and it's crazy because the more films I watched, the more I got hungrier and hungrier to start acting. I was like, "Please let one of these classes open. I'm ready." And, when 2021 came around, like, I think January or February, I jumped into my first acting class back in Columbus, Ohio, and it ended up being an amazing experience and the perfect one for me getting back into it. And so, yeah, it I didn't really get down because I hadn't been in it, prior to 2020. So really, I think it was a great place for me to start because it was
Hmm.
like this continual buildup, of just wanting to get in there and start my career and everything.
That's awesome that you started.
Yeah,
It was kind of crazy during that time, and then they slowly
very
got
crazy.
back to
Yeah.
normal. Now this year, 2024, all the way till December, but long ways till December. But what is your upcoming projects that you have in mind that it's coming out?
Yeah, so far, this month I'm going to be finishing up on Accepting Loneliness. We're filming the rest of the film this month, and then I'm really excited about a role I have coming up next weekend. It is a dark comedy, and I have a different sense of humor sometimes. It is very dark. And this short film is right up my alley. And it's with a director I've wanted to work with for a while, still in the indie circuit, but he just produces such great quality of work. And so I'm really excited to get started with them. Also, Speakeasy will be in production this year. So I'm excited to see where that will go. And I also have a couple more a couple more short films coming up and features. One of them being a feature about a psychiatric place, and I get to play the villain in it. So I'm really excited about that. And I get to play like an evil psychologist type person, and
Hmm.
with the psychology background and just a love for, experimenting and delving into these darker roles is so much fun. I love like tapping into it because everyday life I don't get to. I'm always this happy go lucky person. And so when you get the opportunity to step into these shoes of someone that you normally would be like, oh my God, this person's a psychopath. It's like at that point, I have to understand, okay, why are they a psychopath? Is it really that they're psycho or something deeper going on?
Hmm.
And, kind of just make it my own. But so far, those are the projects I have coming up. There is a music video by Kyle Gordon that'll be out this year. He is an influencer on TikTok, Instagram, social media platforms. He's got a pretty big following, does a lot of comedy stuff. Had the opportunity to be a drummer in one of his music videos with him. He was a great guy, and so I'm excited to see that come out too.
That's awesome. And who is this? The name again? What's his name?
Kyle Gordon.
Kyle Gordon. Okay, that's
Yeah, Kyle
awesome.
Gordon.
So
Yep.
you have a lot of project coming up.
Yeah, thankfully I have a lot already set in place. I know that I've got more that I'll, come in contact with. And I think it's one of those things where I may have to be a little bit picky at times. But I'm still blessed. I know what to look for and I've got my goals set in place. So I think it's gonna be an up and down year, but I'm gonna take it as well as I can and just ride the ride.
That's awesome. I can't wait. And
Yeah,
of
thank
course, I
you.
can't wait to have you back on my show to talk about your projects that you're doing.
Oh, definitely. I can't wait to be back.
That's awesome. When those projects come out, I'm definitely gonna have you back on my show. We can talk about it.
Awesome. I would absolutely love to because they are going to be so much fun. And I know they're going to be things that people are going to really like and want to watch. And so, as soon as
Yes.
I get any info on them, I want to blast it everywhere. So, it's going to be
Yes,
fun.
yes. We will definitely reach out to me and I would love to have you on. We can talk about it. Definitely.
Oh, absolutely. That sounds like a plan.
Yes, 100%. Well, thank you so much for coming on my show, Ashley. Excuse me,
Yeah,
and I
thank you.
appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. I love being able to talk with you a little bit, get people to know me, and just kind of tell my story and tell anyone that is just starting their journey, hey, take that first step. Don't be afraid. Everyone in this industry is so kind, so welcoming. I know there are people that probably aren't so much in the industry, but the majority are great people. And
Right. And then,
in
one thing you agree and I agree is, college education is not what it used to be, and you don't have to go to college to be an actor. Just or an actor, director, or producer, just go for it.
just go for it. Just
Right.
start. I mean, if you have a camera, start. If you want to be a filmmaker, if you want to be an actor, go to that acting class. Hit
Right.
up some friends, make a little short film. Yeah,
And
it's
that's the
amazing.
way to do it. And always look on your own state to see who's auditioning for films in your area.
Yeah, exactly. And just connect with people. I mean, honestly, networking is so huge in this industry too, and getting to know different people. And because you never know, you can meet somebody, become really good friends, and then they're on a big project and they say, oh, I've got somebody that's really good. We need to
Hmm.
get her or him on there. And then they'll pull you onto that project potentially. And it's like, you just never know. You never know, who you're going to meet, what you're going to go through, what you're going to experience. So it's a fun industry to be in.
Yeah, that's true. You never know who you meet, and the friends and
Yeah,
directors, producers, anybody in this entertainment
it's
industry.
wild.
It's
Yeah.
it's the it's the word of mouth.
Mhm. Exactly. It
Yes,
totally is.
100%. The word of mouth of, you met this person, you met that person, then we introduce you to this actor or this actresses or this producer
Yeah,
or
and
director
it
and
catches like wildfire too. I mean,
right.
I look back and I'm like, "Man, and if I hadn't have met them, I wouldn't have been on this project, this project, this project, and I wouldn't have gained this confidence or had that experience." And it's yeah, it's amazing. Like life will happen when it's supposed to happen. And if you just kind of go with the flow and accept that and know that you're not always in control, everything will work out.
100%. I agree with you. Well, thank you for coming on my show, Ashley. I look forward to having you back, and we'll definitely stay in touch.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's been a blast and have a great rest of your week.
You too. I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.
All right. Bye.